Welcome to Manspace Cafe, the mental fitness podcast that equips you with the tips, tools, and tactics to build up your mental muscle. I'm your host, Anthony Moura. A new episode is out every Tuesday and Friday. Listen, share widely, subscribe, and let's get mentally fit. Anger is one of those emotions that is quite hard to control, and also it moves quite quickly. If you are angry at something, then it morphs into rage, and after rage, then you might not have the control to stop yourself from doing something that you may consider stupid once you really calm down and think about it. And in the moment of rage, you could do something that is life-altering, and now your future may be messed. I remember as a teenager, I used to be quite angry. My anger would be quite fast to move to rage, and then after that, I will do something, and then after I calm down, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't really have done that. So I remember one significant event that always rings in my mind whenever I think of anger and how I process it right now. It was right before I went to college. I had a party to send me off to go to college. It was quite nice. Everyone was out there, my relatives, family. Everyone was out there celebrating this thing, because whenever you go to college, it's quite a huge thing, and everyone is out there proud of you, giving you encouraging messages and sending you off. So it was that time, and so after the celebrations and everything, we were winding down the evening. I remember we were sitting in front of the television, just winding down the evening, just sharing stories with my uncles and some of my cousins. And then suddenly we had these pops on the rooftop of my parents' house. So I knew what that was. It was kids just being kids and throwing rocks on top of the rooftop. And this had happened a couple of times. And so, I don't know why, but this was the moment that I had enough. And so I got up quite quickly, rushed outside to see who did it. Like, I wanted to get who did it. And when I went outside, these two young kids, they saw me and took off. And by now my anger was at the point of rage. So I ran after both of them. They were quite smart because they split into two. But I was dead focused on getting someone for doing that. So I caught this one kid. And I gave him, a bit of slaps on the face, and I was dragging him by the collar. I took him to my parents. I was like, this is the one who did it. And I don't know what the plan was, but I thought maybe my folks would, do the same and beat this kid, but we were suddenly stopped by the kid's mother just running through our gate, and she was frantic, just shouting at everyone. Why are you doing this? What's going on? Why have you hit my kid? I'm going to call the cops. It was quite dramatic. But because I was in rage mode, I couldn't see all this. I was just there, still fuming, still wanting to hit someone. And we were there for quite some time. The drama was still going on. My mom is shouting at the kid's mom. The mom is shouting back at us, and finally my dad was out there just being the voice of reason and trying to calm everyone down. And he managed to do that. Looking back now, I'm glad that the kid's mother didn't go to the point of calling the cops. Because now I can imagine it. I can play it in my head just thinking about, cops are called, and cops are not the nicest of people to deal with certain issues like assault and everything. And so maybe, the police would have been called, I'll be arrested and, spend nights in jail. So if the worst case scenario and all that, and then my dream for college will just be a dream and I wouldn't be here. I think that event just shaped my approach to anger, even up to now. Now I'm more calm and I take time with my anger. I know when I'm angry. I know the feeling that I get to when I'm angry. And so before I get to the point where anger turns into rage, I'm able to first acknowledge that I'm angry. Next, I'm able to process that emotion of anger and get to understand what I'm angry about. And then there's the output. And I've learned that, when I do that, then the output is quite, I'd say, appropriate or the right one. So I hope by listening to this episode 16 of the Man Space Cafe podcast, you're able to process your anger in the right way. Acknowledge your anger, pause for a minute, go through the emotion, and then react. And so that's it for this episode. I've been your host, Anthony Mwaura. See you on the next one.